Hey guys, today I'm bringing you a video on 3 stocks I believe every single beginner investor should invest into. This will include ETF, a dividend stock, and a growth stock. I will give an example in each category. If you guys do like them, then of course do go ahead and invest into them. But if you do like the video, be sure to drop a like and do subscribe. Let's get into it. So the first stock I recommend investing into would be Realty Income, and they are very strong and stable dividend stock. If you do ask most people who are investing in dividends or even check many websites, you will see that Realty Income is one of the top best dividend stock. So the first reason I recommend investing into this stock is simply because I like the fact that they pay monthly dividends. So if you're a beginner investor, you do like to see your dividends being paid, and so it will motivate you to invest in more and more. They also have a stable dividends yield of 4.43%. This is actually quite good. You always want a dividend payout of between 3% to about 5% is what I kind of look for, because that is a stable one. Too high could mean that it's very volatile and could drop in any moment, and too low just means it's probably a growth stock and you just pay little dividend. Realty Income is a very stable one. Most people will recommend investing into them. They have 21.58 billion market cap and a 44.8 P/E, and they also have a positive EPS and a 1.49 billion revenue. So they have a lot to work with. In the past year, they were hit by the Rona, and we can see that from March the price really dropped to 48, but they have been recovering slowly in the past couple months, and we can see them getting back on their feet by next year. So Realty Income will be the first I would recommend investing into, especially as a dividend investor. So the second stock I recommend every beginner investor investing into would be the S&P 500. You probably heard of this somewhere from someone on YouTube or whatever the case is, but I would recommend investing to the S&P 500 if you're someone who either invests in dividends or growth, but particularly growth, simply because they have the top 100 of the world popular stocks in this portfolio. So I'll recommend putting a certain percentage of your portfolio into the S&P 500 just to be safe. If one region or one company or one sector do go down, there are other companies that keeps your portfolio balanced so you don't completely lose your money. So in the past year, we could see that this stock was hit massively at the beginning of the year, but they have also been able to push back up, and now it's even higher than what it was in February. Now it's higher than what it was before the Rona. So I would recommend investing into S&P 500. They are very safe stock to invest into, or safe ETF to invest into. But if you're someone who is into dividends a lot more, then I'll recommend investing into a Vanguard, FTSE All World high dividend. This is what I'm investing into. I'm actually invested into both of them. But I also have this because this has many dividend stocks in one. So if I like investing into single stocks, but I also have this just for the fun of it. There are those individual stocks here and there that I'm not actually aware about, or I'm not invested into, or because I don't think it's really worth investing into. But if it's in the ETF, then I'm still getting the dividends from it when the dividend payout is, or whatever month that is. So this is also a stock I would recommend every beginner investor investing into. Over time, I will put more money into this, and I will also put more into the S&P 500 just to be safe and to make sure my portfolio does not completely crash if anything is to happen. Now, there are many growth stocks that any beginner investor could invest into. This is also your preference. When I started investing into Tesla, because they were lower then, and I knew it was a very hyped growth stock, and it did work out well for me. So that's also an option at which you can invest into. But one growth stock particularly that I can say every beginner should invest into would be Gap. So Gap is an upcoming stock which got into business with Kanye, and in 2021, kind of midway through 2021, they plan on releasing merch and all of that stuff. So when I invested in Gap, it was much lower. Right now I do have a profit of about 6%. This was much higher last week. It was about 20%, but of course in the past week a few things have happened, so the profit has gone down, but I'm still positive, right? So I invested in Gap when it was selling at $17, and now it's selling at $20. And this is before the release of the merchant thing. So by next year, around that March April period, it should grow. It should really grow. But one thing I also love about Gap is they also pay dividends. I'm gonna go into more detail about Gap in another video on, you know, why you should invest in Gap, why I see Gap as a, you know, future growing stock, because, you know, in the past year Gap hasn't really been on the map like that, but in the next couple years, in the next couple months, they should really, you know, bring back up. It should actually grow and start becoming a stock that most people would be interested into. So Gap currently has a market cap of 7.4 billion and they have a dividend of 4.9%. This is something that is substantial to me as a dividend investor, simply because the payout ratio isn't too low and it's actually worth, you know, investing into. So in the next coming months, we will get more information on Gap and, you know, the business plans of what they plan on doing and how all of this is gonna grow. So for now, if you do see a feature in Gap, do conduct your own research, of course, but if you do see a feature in Gap, then I would recommend investing into Gap. So those are the 3 stocks I recommend investing into. You always try to have one growth stock, one, you know, couple dividends, depending on what you're into. If you're into dividends, have more dividends. If you're into growth, have more growth. But you also want a growth stock, simply because you can use the growth stock as you get the benefit from it and the profit. You can sell that profit and reinvest that into your dividends for the compound interest and everything like that. So that is the purpose of having a growth stock. That's how I do it. You also have an ETF just to be safe, to make sure your portfolio is diversified enough to make sure you don't lose money. And that's a wrap. So thank you for watching the video. If you did enjoy the video, be sure to drop a like and subscribe down below. Be sure to drop a comment letting me know what stocks you guys invested into when you first started your portfolio and how it's doing now. I'd like to know what you guys invested into. I might actually learn a few things myself. I might actually check out these stocks that you guys invested into. Be sure to, you know, subscribe, share the video to any of your friends who are also starting a new portfolio themselves. And if you do want to get a free share, then do check in the description below. You can invest into Trading 212 and you'll get a free share. You could actually get a share of up to £100, sell the share and, you know, make free money. But that's a wrap, guys. So thank you guys for watching the video and take care.